Patrick Mahomes led another Chiefs game-winning drive yesterday, hitting Travis Kelce for his third touchdown of the game with just 31 seconds left. Talk about clutch. Mahomes finishes with 329 passing yards, plus those 3 touchdowns, and a 30-27 win over the Chargers. Shannon, your turn to gloat. Is Pat Mahomes running away with this MVP race?
It's his MVP to lose. I told Skip about 3 weeks ago. I said I picked him at the beginning of the season, and I think you probably should. It's like Tiger of the field. And anytime Tiger went to a tournament, it's like, okay, I take Tiger, because Tiger was just that much better than everybody else that was golfing at the time. Patrick Mahomes is just the best quarterback in football. The things that he can do, the way he can throw the football, and I said this year, it's going to look different than in years past because he doesn't have the most dynamic playmaker at the wide receiver position in Tyreek. They're not going to be 70-yard touchdowns. They're not going to be no 50, 60-yard bombs over your head. It's going to be more methodical. And he said it to be, he said, I'm sorry, fantasy owners, but it's going to probably be a different guy every week, with the exception of that big tight end. Because he said last night on there, Skip, he said, if Kelce got one-on-one, I'm going to give him the look. And then after that, we're going to play football, and everybody else is going to go according to who gets open first. But you look at what he did. Skip, they were down. He gets the ball back with 1:46 on the clock. They go 75 yards. He goes 4 or 5 for 64 yards. He had a couple of runs in there. They go 2-man. They go 22 trail, 2-man, split the field. He's like, oh, y'all left all that area open. And he takes off running. Skip, what do you say? And the thing is that when Mahomes loses, what people doesn't do like somebody else I know, we didn't mention that he played without Juju. We didn't mention that he played without McCole Hardman. That Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes out during the game. Kadarius Toney goes out during the game. They're down to their 6th, 7th, and 8th DBs playing. All he does is like, whomever's out here, let me go get it done. We didn't mention, well, he didn't have Mike Evans. He didn't have Chris Godwin. No Gronk, no AB. He didn't do running the football. Well, if he had a running game, last night, Pacheco, the first 100-yard rush game for the Chiefs since week 4 of last year. So he's doing it without a running game.
Well, not last night. That was a big running game.
He leads the league in passing touchdowns, 28. He leads the league in passing yards, 3,265. Average 326 yards passing per game. He's second in QBR. It's his to lose. Now, I know somebody talking about, oh, he's having a great year. Somebody got 10, 15 more passes and 16 fewer touchdowns. I ain't going to call the guy's name, but y'all think y'all know who he is. But he got a great touchdown-interception ratio. All those passes ain't got but 12. This man got 16 more touchdowns. Probably another 300-400 more passing yards. It's his MVP to lose currently.
Says Shannon Sharp, who loves him some Mahomes boy.
Who do you got the MVP?
It's not even close. It's Jalen Hurts. I can't do it on any number except one big number. There's one big glaring number that you can't defend. Kansas City is now 8-2.
Yes.
And Philadelphia is now 9-1.
Skip, you're making it seem
9-1.
You're making it seem like Patrick Mahomes is 3-5. He's not. Look at the numbers. They're not even close. Look at the passing yard. Okay, put in his runs with it. I want you to tally his runs up with his passing, and they can't touch Mahomes. Put his rush yards in there with his passing yards, and they can't but touch Mahomes.
All I know is that yesterday at Indianapolis against a Jeff Saturday turned Sunday team that just looks different to me. It is playing at a much higher level. It's a much happier level. It just looks like it's reinvigorated.
Right.
Philly was dead to rights in trouble. They're trailing by 10 going to the fourth quarter. No Philly team has ever come back, or not ever, has not come back from a double-digit deficit going to the fourth quarter in 12 years. Not one time in 12 years has Philly done what Jalen Hurts did yesterday against a suddenly hot, rejuvenated Indianapolis Colts team.
Okay.
And in the fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts was superb, and he made all the plays he had to make. He threw it for 36. He ran it for 49. He threw it for 1 touchdown pass. He ran it for another touchdown, if we could see what he did at the end of the game. This was the play, was the quarterback draw that won the game, and they called it, and he ran it, and the heavens just opened up, and he high-stepped right into the end zone. That's who he is. That's what he is. He is the leader. He is the playmaker. He is the driving force of an entire football team. He has changed the whole culture on the fly and gotten them to 9-1. And I'm going to defend him because the one loss was definitely not his fault, because you remember what happened against Washington. It was on Monday night. He hits A.J. Brown right in the hands with the ball that he juggles up into an interception.
Right.
Well, you can't throw it any better than that. And then you recall the uncalled face mask on Goddard, in which he fumbles the ball away.
Well, they got away with last night because the guy face masked Matt Ryan.
He did.
And they called it, or they'd have lost that game.
That is true.
So,
and then you remember what Quez Watkins did. A throw is going to hit him right in the breadbasket, and he decides to go down and slide to catch it just to make sure he wraps it up,
right,
when he could have caught it in stride and still be running for a touchdown.
Right.
And it cost them, because not only did he catch it and go down with it, but he got stripped from behind.
Correct.
Okay, so those are the three plays that cost Philly its one game, and none of them had anything to do with Jalen Hurts. To me, just on pure eye test value, he is slightly more valuable than Patrick Mahomes. Skip. Okay, now you tell me it's not even close. So speaking of at Indianapolis, how did the game end at Indianapolis for Kansas City? How did it end? Well, you're driving for the winning field goal. If I could see this, it's 1st and 10 at the Indy 46 with 8 seconds left. You got a chance just to you need one more throw to set up the walk-off field goal, right? And he double clutches and throws it, and that's the end of it.
Skip. I mean, I'm just make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
See, there's the field goal line, and he throws it across the field goal line, and it's intercepted.
So Jalen Hurts doesn't have any turnovers.
Well, he does, but he hadn't lost a game with them.
Skip.
Okay, that lost the game.
It doesn't matter if you lose. They lost to Washington.
Okay, but that's choke city at Indianapolis when they weren't very good.
Skip. 28 touchdowns. Nobody is close. I guarantee. I tell you what. This is what I'm willing to do with you right now. I guarantee you, if Patrick Mahomes stays right where he is and Jalen Hurts wins out, I'll bet you 1,000 cases to do he won't win MVP.
I don't have a vote, so I can't help that. I can't control that.
Even if you had a vote,
it'll just be flat out wrong. If you're just going on numbers, you're wrong.
Skip, you talk about numbers. The guy's lost 2 games. You make it seem like he's lost 6.
Thank you for bringing up the other loss. It was at home to Buffalo. And how did it happen? Well, Patrick Scott, late in the first quarter, he's got 3rd and goal at the 9-yard line, and he goes Harlem Globetrotter. Let me just see. Andy lets me do anything. I can get away with just about anything, including that. That's as careless as an interception as you will ever throw.
Yes.
And it cost them seizing control of the football game because it's 3rd and goal.
So what about last night? So what?
Wait. I'm not finished. It's my turn. So then this game against Buffalo, it comes down to 1st and 10 at the 30, and you got a chance. You're down 24-20, so you got to do what you did last night against Buffalo. This is 56 seconds left, and how does the game end? It ended this way, with a little sidearm fling, and it got picked. And
the guy made a great play.
You didn't do it.
Skip.
You didn't do it.
I want to make sure you.
That's just a bad idea.
So
it's vintage, careless Patrick Mahomes.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So every quarterback, Tom Brady, every time he's been in a game-winning situation, he's won.
We're talking about MVP. And you said he's running away with it? I think he just came back to the pack with those 2 throws.
Skip, you talking about the things that happened 3-4 weeks ago. We're talking about now.
Well, it counts in body of work.
Okay.
Yes. You can't have just last night. You got to have the body of work.
What's the likelihood?
You can't win MVP just on one night game.
Skip. So he had 28 touchdowns in one night. He got 3,200 yards in one night. So a man's going to throw for 5,200. He's on pace to break the record for passing yards in a season. And he's on pace to throw for 50 touchdowns. And you think somebody's going to win the MVP over there?
Choke. I got 2 big chokes at the end of the game. 2 big chokes. I'm sorry, you can't defend it.
There's nothing to defend.
You can't sweep it under your carpet.
I'm not trying to, but you can't sweep 28 touchdowns. You can't sweep 3,200 yards. You can't sweep the number 2 QBR. You can't sweep the 326 passing yards. You can't sweep on the big stage. What did he do last night?
You can't sweep 9-1 under the carpet.
Skip, he's 8-2.
Maybe it wasn't a night game, but what he did at Indianapolis against Jeff Sunday, whew,
Skip.
That was spectacular.
So let me ask you a question. Who's the better quarterback right now, Justin Herbert or Matt Ryan? Who has a better offense?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not the biggest Justin Herbert.
You ain't got to be. But Skip, Come on now.
By the way, you did pick them to get to the Super Bowl. I'm just not seeing it.
But here's the thing, and we're about to talk about this. You're not sure about Justin Herbert, but you stand on the table for Baker Mayfield. Think about that for just a second.
Well, I'm just not sure about Justin Herbert.
But you're sure about Baker?
No, I'm not sure. I just think he's in a terrible situation right now. I was sure about him in Cleveland.
This is what we know. Normal, terrible people find themselves in terrible situations. That's what happens.
No, is it? I don't think that happens.
Right here. The numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. They don't lie.
It's Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Your eyes are lying because you don't have any objectivity.
I told you in 26.
Patrick Mahomes.
I told you in 2016 who was going to win the MVP. I told you the last 2 years at the midway point who's going to win the MVP. You need to trust. You're the Hall of Famer. Trust the Hall of Famer on this one, okay? Trust the Hall of Fame on this one.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't trust you at all because Jalen Hurts, you're doing a big disservice to an enormous achievement that he's pulling off in Philadelphia.
You
never liked him.
No, Skip. He's playing well, but he's not the MVP.
Oh, come on.
He's not. It's not close.
Value. This is value.
Skip. The man took Skip. They added A.J. Brown. They took away Tyreek, and he's still leading the league in every passing category.
And he's got the greatest receiving tight end I've ever seen.
But let me ask you a question. Why didn't you make that argument when Brady had Gronk for 10 years? You never said anything about Brady had the greatest receiving tight end in history.
No, I did.
You talk about that's Brady. That's Brady. Ping, ping, ping. He did ping, ping, ping to Sky Moore. He's throwing to Valdez-Scantling. You remember the guy that you said was a guy? Justin Watson, he's turned him into a serviceable receiver when Tom Brady didn't have use for him.
Because he has Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce at tight end. That's how he does it.
Skip, but see, that's the thing that I have is that you try to discount everything that Patrick Mahomes does by saying he has this. You never did that for Brady when he had Randy Moss.
It isn't about Brady.
Yes, but it's about what you try to do to discount it.
Come on, Brady's won 7 Super Bowls.